Hey guys, welcome back to another RedTech video. Today, I'll be showing you all how to build a super useful wither breaking cage. For all those who think the bedrock is just unobtainium, I've already gone over how to obtain bedrock in survival in one of my Let's Plays for my bedrock survival world. Check out the link in the description and you'll see how I obtained my own bedrock. There'll also be a link to another channel. It's me, James. He's the Glitch King of Bedrock. This blast chamber is directional, so please pay attention to where I put the pumpkin, as I do use the pumpkin as a OG vanilla compass to help me with builds. This wither breaking chamber has a total of 21 breaking spots, and it can break 100% of the blocks off as an item, whereas a TNT blast chamber gives you a maximum yield of 30%. Here's a first look at our new wither blast chamber. One might notice that the chamber seems to contain a lot of bedrock, and this is because I tried a design by another YouTuber called Heavy Nexus originally, and the wither had escaped. Why are you throwing shit straight? Oh, you got out! This blast chamber seems to be 100% friendly, and no longer will the wither charge out of it. Stick around to the end of the video. I'll be making a concrete converter that will automatically feed the blocks and convert them into concrete. The player-fed block stream can also be fed other things. For this build, you'll need 83 bedrock, 177 solid blocks, 1 slab, 1 piston, 4 chests, 8 hoppers, 1 redstone repeater, 2 redstone torches, 2 pieces of redstone dust, 1 pane of glass, 2 blocks of snow, the non-powdered variant, 1 pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern, 1 dispenser, 1 redstone lamp, 1 lever, 2 buckets of water, 3 wither skulls, 4 soul sand, and I recommend having at least a stack of temporary blocks. Let's get on with the build, shall we? First thing we're going to do is we're going to put down our pumpkin, and we're going to pay attention to which way the stem faces. That's going to be to the northwest. We're going to place down 2 chests and then another 2 chests on top of them. Go around to the back side and face hoppers into the backs of the chest, just like so. At which point we're going to come up to the hopper on our right. We're going to point another hopper down into it and another hopper down into that. We're going to take a hopper on the side here and plug it in to the lower hopper, at which point we're ready to build our collection platform. We'll start by extending 5 blocks on the side of the hopper, followed by 5 blocks over on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we just fill this in with solid blocks. We should now have an 11 by 11 platform. We're going to take some temporary blocks and place them in all the corners just like this. 1 block from the corner going to the right. Now we're going to take our building material and wrap it all the way around. We're going to take a look at our pumpkin here, and we're going to transfer it to the top with the stem facing away, at which point we're going to go to our center block, count 2 over, and replace that with a redstone lamp. We're now ready to build our snow golem cell, so we're going to take a lever, put it on the side of the block here, so we have an on-off switch for our timer. We're going to take a torch, place it on top of that, use a solid block here, solid block here. We're going to place a torch on the back, place a solid block on top of it, a repeater facing that corner of the build on 4 ticks, piece of redstone dust, solid block here, piston on the edge of the dust. Our dispenser is going to be on the side of this block. Make sure it's facing in towards the center of the build. Place a hopper in the back. We're going to want 2 temporary blocks, 1 here, 1 on the face of the piston. Our slab can be here. We can get rid of that temporary block. And we're going to put solid blocks around, right the temporary block. Place 3 more here. We're going to want to place some temporary blocks around here so we can place our golem and he won't get out. So we're going to place 2 snow blocks in here. Go ahead and put the pumpkin on top. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna have to push this guy in the corner. I know, you don't want to go. So once he's in the corner, you can break a block to get back, step out and place your glass pane, at which point you can remove your temporary blocks and he can live there forever. We're going to turn the machine on to make sure it's functioning and throwing snowballs. Perfect. we have snowballs to damage the wither. We're going to place 2 temporary blocks on top of the hopper, and here's where the bedrock comes out and it gets scary. That's going to be the piece of bedrock that the wither is going to be standing on. Now that we have our first piece of bedrock, we can break our temporary blocks underneath. The side facing the golem will have 2 blocks on the bottom, as will the side here. These 2 sides, however, will have 1 block and 1 block. We can go ahead and fill that in, adding an extra piece of bedrock here and here. We're going to take a row of temporary blocks coming from this side here, in front of the dispenser. We're going to extend it 2 more blocks here. We're going to take this side and we're going to go up an additional 2 blocks. This is all the void in the bedrock we will need for our wither cage to function properly. So now we're going to build everything up by 3 blocks and cover that all up. We're going to wrap this one around the top because we want to block all the skulls he can fire. At which point we're fine to remove our temporary blocks. There should be 3 here for the wither to stand, and there should be 2 here so that we can reach him with snowballs. Now we're going to put a roof on this thing. Just a little 3x3 roof like this is absolutely fine. And we're now ready to spawn the wither. So we're going to come out 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Temporary blocks are fine. We're going to make a cross here on the outside of it. Now we're going to place our soul sand and our skulls, bearing in mind that he is going to be going into the center of this, and we don't want to be in his path because it'll push him off to the side and he'll escape. So we're going to place our 3 skulls, and we now have a wither that is going to be in the cage. It's charging up now. Now you might be tempted to change the name of the wither as I have done in my survival world. He's accessible through this hole here, so if you have a name tag, you should be able to reach him. All that's left to do now is put it in the water. As you will be in survival, most likely, you're going to want to space your water out 1 block, at which point you'll be able to draw out of that as an infinite water source. But I'm in creative and my bucket doesn't ever empty, so I'm just going to do this quick styles. As you see, we now have water flowing from all the walls except for where the temporary blocks are. We can now go ahead and knock out the temporary blocks. And now you should have a wither blast chamber that looks something like this. I do recommend lighting up your area to mob-proof it, or place down buttons or something on top of your rails. But as far as the basic blast chamber, this is done. So now we can test it out. All we do is we flick the lever on, and we can go ahead and do something like convert deep slate into cobbled deep slate just by placing it anywhere on this opening here or in here. It will break off 100% of the blocks as an item. Okay, now to show you guys the concrete converter I've made for you. It's reasonably spam proof. For this concrete converter add-on to the blast chamber, we will need 5 target blocks, 3 redstone repeaters, 7 redstone torches, 16 pistons, 5 sticky pistons, 8 obsidian, 1 redstone lamp, 5 observers, 37 redstone dust, 1 button, 3 slabs, 36 building blocks that are solid, 1 bucket of water, about a stack of temporary blocks, and I would give myself about a stack of building blocks. I mean, like, you can use stairs, like all kinds of crap to pretty it up afterwards. Just make sure the redstone works first before you gussy up the farm. So if you end up placing a block over a redstone line and it cuts it in half or something, you're going to be able to figure it out a little easier. Okay, so we're going to pick a side of the blast chamber. I'm just going to pick this side here because it's nearest the golem and it's nearest our switch. Be easiest for us to patch into it. And we're going to look at the bedrock formation and line it up with this block right here. So you come straight underneath it here, place a block, piece of redstone dust, target block, redstone torch, piece of obsidian, and we're going to place 3 more pieces of obsidian here. We're going to put a repeater on top of this target block, set to 3 ticks, place a repeater here on 2 redstone ticks, pointing into a row of 4 blocks. Cover these 4 blocks with redstone dust, place target blocks on this side, and if you can get the hitbox of this, go ahead and place your pistons facing up. Put a row of torches on the top of your target blocks. Get some of your sticky pistons in. 1, 2, and another, and another. We're going to put some solid blocks down here and here. And we're going to use a slab right here. Underneath the slab, we're going to place a row of redstone dust coming around. And we're going to put a slab right here and have it step up onto there. The slab, the redstone current can go up but not down, so as we don't create a loop with our repeater down here. We're going to place a row of blocks above our torches. And we can come in and knock out the corners. Just like that. We're going to come around to the back and we're going to place a block right there. Now we're going to put a half slab here. We're going to jump on top of it. I recommend placing a solid block here of your choice. You're going to walk into this block. You're going to crouch and we're going to slam this full of 6 rows of temporary blocks. Now that you've got 6 blocks in, the top of your block should line up just underneath. We're going to come 3 down on one side, place a temporary block here, knock the top off. We're going to place 12 pistons in a 4x3 grid. We're going to place a temporary block on top, and we're going to have 4 observers looking down. On the one side, we're going to have 1 looking up. Go ahead and kill the temporary block. Place 2 temporary blocks, break the bottom one, place a downwards facing sticky piston over top of your end observer. We're going to take a solid block, put it here, piece of redstone dust on top of it, another solid block on the side of the redstone dust. We're going to put solid blocks all the way down here with redstone dust running back to the piston. We're going to take a repeater, put it on 3 ticks, then we're going to use some obsidian over these 4 pieces so the machine can't push itself apart. Place a row of redstone on top of the obsidian, stopping just short of the piston, and we place a button on this block here and press the button to make sure everything cycles. Place 1 solid block below there, cycle it 1 more time. That is the block that fires our pistons. So we're going to wrap around like this, and we're going to cover everything in redstone. Make sure our wall all pumps forward when we push the button, just like that. We're now ready to take our bucket of water, and we can either put it on one side or the other, or have it half and half. I'm just going to put it in the back corner here. Now, if we want to use the switch manually, we're basically done, but we're going to put in a auxiliary circuit so that we can turn it on and off here. I'm going to put a torch on the back here. We want to place a row of solid blocks just underneath the lamp, and we're going to step up 1. We're going to put a redstone torch here, which turns on the system, and then we're going to put a row of redstone dust, which will turn off the system when this is off. We're going to move our lever from here to here and put an additional indicator lamp here to tell us the system is off, or if we turn the system on. We can now, if we want, remove our second lever. If you want, go ahead and put a couple of slabs in here to aid, or a slab and a solid block, whatever you decide. Set of stairs, pretty it up for yourself some. Machine's now ready to use. You walk right up into the solid block we placed here. We crouch down and we hold our use button. We are now automatically converting our concrete powder into concrete blocks. As I've added a detection circuit to detect if the thing gets spammed too hard and to just reset itself. Worst case Ontario, the repeater on my right hand side will break off as an item. You'll remove the 1 piece of concrete powder, replace your repeater, reset it to 3 ticks. Hasta la pasta, your shit works again. There's one other function I failed to mention. You also have a reset if the upstairs jams. Say you start loading blocks and the wither is not getting rid of them, or maybe you built something funny, or maybe the clock is cycling funny like this. Check, 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 check. Yeah, no good. Just put a button on this block, it resets it, and it's ready to spam away. If you hold crouch or toggle it, if you're on console, you can just hold your use button, wrap an elastic around your controller. I've done all kinds of things. I used to use a cabled controller and wrap the cable around the button, but you're good to go. You can just place blocks until you're out. If you want, you can have something feed you blocks like a dropper system, but we're not going to get into that. This is just a little bonus at the end. As you see, we're getting our concrete coming through the converter. that's all the time I have for you today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.